time works differently in podcasting world. I think for most of you, you probably will be listening to this maybe moments after the last episode, maybe an hour, maybe days. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, there's 5 months in between it for us.
Damn, has it been that long?
I think it's been, I don't know, maybe not 5 months, but it's been quite, it's been at least 4.
I thought we did it in May.
In May?
I might be off.
See, I told you, time operates differently. We don't even know.
July,
we don't
August.
even know.
Right.
Yeah, like maybe three or 4.
Yeah.
We took a breather in the summer.
Well, we both launched new shows in that time, you know. So we both were STF and HLP were a bit busy in the last few months. Not that we're not now, but maybe we're a little bit more in our rhythm.
Not launching it.
Yeah, not launching
not pre-recording like 3 episodes one weekend, 3 another, so that you could be banked for something else.
I went back in the chat history. It looks like we may have recorded the last chunk on the 8th of May.
Wow. All right, called it. Boom.
So it's been a little over 3 months then. All right. Well, how y'all doing? Griff, Steve, I mentioned to you before we hit record, it feels like forever since I've seen you. I've been listening to you every week,
it's been a
long time since
Likewise.
Yeah.
You guys have been putting out a lot of fun shows. Been listening to them all, and kind of miss hanging out with you guys and playing a little Starfinder though.
I know. I've been really anxious to like get through this part and get into the meat of this book. Because I just think it's a wild book, and it's going to kind of go back to that pulpy Starfinder action. You know, it's going to feel a little bit more Starship Troopers again than, you know, book 2, which was a lot of, you know, we've already gone over.
Felt not at all like Starship Troopers.
Yeah. We've already had a battle here, and, you know, you guys may notice that you at home that there's a voice missing from the cast here, because, you know, F in chat for Yavari Star Eater. I'm going to raise my glass and hand it over to you, Griff, on that one.
Well, what's in that glass you're raising, Adam?
Well, it's not actually a glass, but it is a can of Wild Basin Seltzer. The flavor here is classic lime.
Oh, I like the Wild Basins. I don't know that I've had the lime, but I've had some of their seltzers. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're not bad. Not bad. They're, you know, it's a seltzy. You know, it's not too sweet. That's what I like about it.
Speaking of someone that's not too sweet, Zach, what you drinking?
Hey man, fair is fair. Okay, so this is a Troganator.
Troganator from Trogs.
Yeah.
That's like an hour from where I grew up.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh may have picked it up when he was in
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think he had to go to Pennsylvania. Anyway, it's 8.2 ABV. It's very, very dark, chocolatey kind of. It's good though. It's good. First one trying
8.2. You're gonna get drunk.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of the only 8.2 out of 10 on this show, hey Heath, what you drinking, dude?
Damn, that was mean to Steve, dude. Come on, Steve.
Well,
you gonna take that, bro?
There's room for higher than 8.2.
Oh, okay.
I was very specific with the 8.2.
I'm the only exact 8.2.
Right.
Which I'll take it. That's high praise. I'm drinking a Miller Lite that was left over from my fantasy football draft last night.
They put one. For that.
Came down just for that.
Yep. Deservedly.
Well, Steve, what you drinking?
Sure, man. Hey, everybody. Steve here from the Hideous Laughter Podcast, the Play Matumbe and Saw on that show. You may have caught me on the Bestow Podcast, which is Bestow Curse Podcast.
Yeah,
Bestow
okay.
Podcast.
Retake it.
No, that's what we're calling it now. That's dropped since the last time we recorded, I guess. Play Vec Relby on that show. I'm drinking a Truly tonight. This is Berry Punch from that good old summer punch pack they put out.
I heard those were good. I heard the Truly Punches were tasty.
Oh, I love them. I really, really like them a lot. They're a little polarizing with our group. Some people think they're a little too sweet, and I usually don't go for sweet seltzers, but I think they're very tasty.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised how much you like them. You've been consistently buying them, so
yeah,
they're working for you.
They sure are.
Well, I myself am the lame-o today. I'm drinking strawberry protein powder by On Way, and it's delectable.
And it has what kind of alcohol in it?
It has 2 scoops of protein powder.
It's just powder. You didn't even mix it with water.
I'm just eating the powder on air.
Well, that strengthens the jaw muscles, you know? You got to get gains everywhere.
Total body.
It's a real total body workout. It gets the abdominals when you're coughing the powder up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just smart, you know?
Efficient. I like it. Yeah.
It's a real at-home workout. With all the gyms closed, you really got to you pick your battles.
Right. Well, it's been too long since we played Starfinder, and we got to get into it. I'm kind of hesitant because I feel like it's going to be a little sad, but it is what it is. We just got to go. We got to go and get in it. We ended last episode with this Sharon. Let me show you a picture of Etchiax's, what she introduced herself to you as. And she's wearing this pretty cool, armor setup. I think it's pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
I do like that a lot.
And, she was aiding you in the fight against the swarm that took Yavari down. And she's come and says, basically friendly, saying, who are you lot? What brings you to this wreck of the rock is kind of how she ended. I'm going to let you guys decide kind of how you're going to respond to her and what you're going to do. I mean, this is moments after you've lost your best friend in the whole world, Tex.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say you guys are probably going to have to handle the bulk of this social interaction because in my head, I feel like Tex, as soon as the battle is over, like a war movie, just drops to his knees in anguish. And I think their bond was so close and so intimate because of the Dragonkin bond, that I think he's completely fetal position. Almost catatonic at this point.
That sucks.
Yeah, so your face is not responding. It is in a bad way. And I'll say Etchiax kind of notes that and says, it seems that Dragonkin over there was a friend of yours. Condolences for your losses. It is the way of Ilmchuva these days. I'm sorry, young squire.
Young squire.
He appreciates the sentiment. You're probably going to have to give him a minute, though.
Understood. Let me introduce you to my 2 friends. And she turns and points to a bolita, which is a very strange kind of insect race. They have kind of a cockroach body, but then an upright torso with 4 arms that come out of it, and it's still kind of a cockroachy style face, but it's not all flat on the ground. It's you got this long torso that walks on a lot of legs, and then this long body rather, and then this torso that kind of bends up.
It's like a cockroach centaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. A cockatar.
That's what they're calling it. That's what the kids are calling it. That was actually the first draft in Bestiary or Alien Archive 3 or whatever they're from.
I'm going to Google that right now. Yep, it's exactly what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. This is Kokan. This is Kokan the Kockatar.
No, dude.
It's Kokan. Kokan. And this over here is Q. And you see a male android behind her as well. Why are you here at Ilmchuva? What possibly could have brought you here?
It seems that your planet has been devastated by the scourge of the swarm. We come here to research that very scourge and see if, in their destruction, they may have left something behind that could clue us in to how to prevent this to happen from to help protect this from happening to other planets.
Well, the enemy of the swarm is a friend of the Clade company. Oh, that's who we're part of, by the way. I suggest that we take this underground and back to our little, I don't know, hovel that we have. It is quite dangerous on the surface, and we can help retrieve your friend's body if you would like, as the swarms seem to consume all biological matter.
Excuse me, love. Excuse me. I couldn't help but notice that you just said underground, and I don't know if you caught that, but my mate's girlfriend there, she just got devoured by a swarm which came from underground, you see.
Yes, we have protected tunnels that the swarm components seem to avoid. It is a temporary situation, but it has served us well thus far. We have not been attacked by the swarm. It will be a bit of a dangerous travel, to be sure, but once we arrive at the cave system, we will be much safer than we are here. Trust me, it's not great on the surface of this planet anymore.
And at that, you kind of see the android kind of twitch a little bit, and the Belita just kind of just like looks sad.
What a beautiful description.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I sense motive?
Sure.
I would like to ask them what their business is on this planet, so...
Yeah, that's also... What is this company you work for?
What type of work does your company partake in, and what are you doing here on Ilmchuva?
Well, I mean, we are the few survivors of this planet from the swarm invasion. We're from here. Our entire way of life was destroyed, and we are the few remaining survivors trying to stay alive, protect each other, and hopefully one day rebuild Ilmchuva. Although I think that time is long past.
As she kind of looks out over this like just arid wasteland, But what are those sense motives? What'd y'all get?
I get an 18.
18?
You can call me a bad boy, because I got a dirty 30.
Oh shit.
There you go.
Nice.
Well, with that, you look at them and you can see that like all over their armor is telltale signs of like acid burns and stuff, and they look harried. And you would also know that that Sharon and Belita are indigenous to this planet, and that they seem genuinely here to help. And they're very anti-swarm, and they just seem nervous being exposed out here. But you don't get any sense that they mean you any ill will. In fact, you get the sense that they're trying to like bring you into a safer place.
Is there a check we can make, like a maybe culture? I'm not sure. I know Sheeran are connected to the swarm. What about Belita?
I don't think so. I don't have that information handy, but I don't think so, because they have a different biology.
they're more like centipede type stuff, and I'm reading in there right up. I don't think they have any swarm
Gotcha.
connection.
Yeah, I just figured insect.
But you would know that they're like masters at building cave systems. You know, that they normally live underground.
And what about this Clade company? Like, I think it would be kind of weird if the world got destroyed and I still maintained fealty to my current career, like company that I work for.
So think company more as like a group of freedom fighters rather than like this is not a business.
Like a company of
It's a
adventurers.
company soldiers.
Yeah.
Got it.
No.
Got it.
Right, well, that's good enough for me then, I reckon.
Koken and Q, could you retrieve the dragonkin? It'll be our pleasure to bring her to the cave systems, and we will do our best to provide any services that she may have wanted. Our resources are limited, of course, but there must be better ways to deal with her remains than let her be consumed by the swarm.
Yeah, I think Tex finally kind of like snaps out of his just grief, really, for a second upon hearing that they're gonna retrieve the body, and kind of snippily is like, y'all be careful with her damn body, all right? She deserves every bit of respect y'all can afford her. She died trying to save all of, and just breaks back down, just sobbing, crying.
Yes, we will. Yes, of course. We should really go, though. We should really leave the surface.
Right, yep. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and so she leads you to that little cave opening, which is, you do know that a swarm came out of that, and you might even mention as much, and they say, yes,
Well, it's likely that it was just hiding there waiting to ambush. But as I said, for whatever reasons, they don't tend to go too deep into our tunnel systems. I imagine it's because of the dangers that present themselves underground. And they really have no need. But I'm getting ahead of myself. It's just, I don't know why they're even still here at all. But that would be better discussed with Heskamu. That's our leader of the Clade company, and she probably wants to meet you guys too. So yeah, let's go. And so she starts walking you down this tunnel, and as you go down, you're going through this series of winding underground tunnels, and she warns you kind of before you get really deep, to go ahead and turn on your environmental protections on your armor, mentioning that there's some pretty toxic heavy metal fumes that sometimes permeate the caverns. The damage that the swarm has inflicted on this planet is evident. Yeah, I mean, even here, even underground. What appears to have originally been extensive organic tunnel complex is now massively altered. Some tunnels have collapsed, while others have been filled with hardened lava. As you guys are walking, at one point, Etchiax holds up her arm and stops you. It says, "Everybody, don't move." And you hear this like rumbling kind of right in front of you. And the ground actually kind of opens up in front of you. A little fissure opens, and like a little of magma splurts out into the cave. She obviously knows kind of what to listen for and senses, and keeps you guys at a safe enough distance. And once the lava activity is over, she kind of skirts you around the fissure, and you continue to go deeper underground.
I think like as we're kind of making this trek, Tex kind of gravitates towards Sigurd, and like he's really beat up from that fight. So I think he kind of like just keeps a hand on, maybe he's so short, it's probably like the thigh, like not pauldron, but you know, his greave or whatever, just for something to like hold on to help him walk. But also, like, you would kind of get the sense it's a little bit like a child, you know, who's really nervous, like holding on to his mother's coattails, you know, like,
yeah, I think
just needing to be close to somebody and hold on to somebody.
Sig would pick up on that, and kind of taking a cue from how Tex completely broke down and how he's kind of like lagging. Sig would just kind of, all right, buddy, come here, and pick him up, put him on his shoulder.
Oh man.
Keep
trucking. As he, once he does that, it's like, you know, Tex probably feels a little more okay with his, like, he's just like consistently sobbing now. Like, he's probably already almost cried himself out, but he's just sitting there like crying and sniffing and muttering every now and then. It's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do without her, man. I can't. I don't know how I'm gonna go on.
Yeah, Sig just kind of like flips in one of his like compartments in his greaves. He would kind of press a button. His trusty pack of cigarillos in there. He'd pop one out, kind of flick a light on, pass it up behind his head. Don't worry about ashing on me. It's not gonna hurt.
You're a good man, Sigurd. No, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, like, it's just on and on like this, you know.
If he keeps doing that, Sig's like turns off the two-way communication from his helmet.
While that might be going on, Natasi might sidle up to Vin and just very cautiously ask Vin, Vinian, we came in pretty hot. Are we stuck here? Or could you fix the ship?
What's my assessment of the state of the ship, GM?
Give me an engineering check.
Okay. Man, it's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. I mean, well, so you know the wing is broken. Mm-hmm. But it's repairable, you know. The issue is more the acid rain that comes from time to time, and so it can be repaired, but it's, you know, that it can't like withstand being out there for a week. You know what I mean? Like, you'll need to get it fixed or at least moved somewhere, probably within a week.
Right. The longer it sits out there, the more like problems you're going to run into that aren't the wing.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so Vin will just be like, love, I can fix the ship, but this acid rain is going to bugger us real good if we don't do something quick.
Well, hopefully our new friends here might be able to help us out a little bit. Get it underground, get it under cover or something.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Are you saying this loud enough for Etchiax to hear, or are you guys kind of whispering amongst yourselves?
I would think we're whispering amongst ourselves.
Okay.
I think Vin and Natasi are probably the most secretive of the lot.
Fair enough.
I will say that this journey that she's taking you through, I mean, it's an hour passes and you don't, it feels like you're still marching, you know, like, so there is plenty of time to ask her questions along this journey, because it's not a short one, if you had any questions for her.
Hey, excuse me, love, Etchiax, can you give us the lore dump? Just real quick.
I am only allowed to give you my own specific lore.
Good enough for me.
She'll basically kind of tell you a little bit about herself and that she's had some experience working as a security guard when she was younger, but she was working as a starship mechanic at the Uds spaceport when the swarm attacked this planet. She collected a few dozen survivors at that point. One of them was Q, the android that's with you, and managed to dodge swarm patrols by hiding in the city's sewers, where she modified her exocortex to better defend the group of survivors. Not long after, she says that Heskemu, the leader of the Clade company, his crew, or their crew of Bolitas, stumbled across her ragtag band, and the Clade company grew out of that partnership. She kind of leans in and mentions to, kind of whispers to you guys,
I wouldn't bring up too many questions to Q. He lost his entire family, his partner, and 3 adopted children in the swarm attack, and he does not like to discuss it very much. He's still in a lot of pain.
So you would say this Q likes to stay a little bit more anonymous than rather get to know us.
No!
oh, gross. If you had an inspiration, I would take it from you. Oh, you do have an inspiration.
I think I have too.
You have to spend an inspiration to tell that joke.
All right, then strike it from the record. It's not worth an inspiration.
You found the loophole. Yeah, so as I said, about an hour or so in, you start to feel this rumbling. And as you get deeper, it almost becomes like this bone-aching thrum. Like just like rattling the entire cave network of tunnels that you're in. And it goes on for a while, and finally HX turns to you and says,
So that is, that's one of the swarm's extractor imagos, and that's what they use to siphon all the resources from the planet.
And if you remember when you flew in, there was these creatures that you saw, these giant fleas. They looked like fleas, but they were huge, like they were skyscraper tall. And so what you're hearing is one of those with its proboscis deep into the core, just, extracting minerals and resources and chemicals from almost the core of the planet, and it's just shaking everything. But Etchiax is like, but don't worry, we're okay. It just keeps marching.
Oh, I believe you.
So it takes 2 hours, all said and done, to arrive at the Clade company. And you emerge into this series of larger caverns. These chambers are obviously inhabited. A backup generator thrums quietly, powering a few LED strips, above which the chatter of people and clatter of boxes and equipment being moved around can be heard. This bustling encampment resembles nothing so much as a military outpost combined with a refugee camp. You're actually kind of reminded of Fort Gallant on Susquehanna, in the mood, in how everybody is, like worn down, barely surviving, but together. It's a motley crew of inhabitants. It's mostly Sharon and Bolitas, but there are a handful of Formians, a few large Hans, and a smattering of others, including several humans, a pair of Vesk, Karasha Lashunta, and a half-orc. Nearly everyone wears armor, carries a backpack, and some sort of weapon. Even those engaged in tasks as seemingly innocuous as preparing a meal. Like, everybody's ready to fight at all times. The overall tone of the encampment is pretty grim. But as you guys are walking through and being led by Etchex, a little murmur of activity kind of swells around you. And you actually get some enthusiastic greetings and surprised exclamations as you guys are marched through. And then a few minutes later, another Belita, this one wearing a scoffed suit of segmented armor, scuttles towards the group, gesturing with several pairs of limbs and twitching their antennae. One of them is broken off, making it shorter than the other. And he says, he kind of, I mean, as much as this thing can smile, I do have another handout for you guys. He kind of smiles. He says,
Archax, Kokan and Q, welcome back. I see you found some of us.
all right. And then he turns to you.
You're either foolhardy or hell's bent or something to have come to this planet. But it's pretty clear you don't want the swarm any more than we do. And you've proven you're competent folks. My name is Heskimo, and we're Clade Company.
The Belita gestures around the cavern.
What's your business here on Ilem Chuva? Maybe we can help each other out.
Vin turns to the party and says, mates, y'all don't want me negotiating with these people, okay?
You feeling any better, Tex?
I think throughout, since it was like a 2-hour march, as it went on, he would like kind of sob himself out, pass out for a minute, wake up, hit the cigarillo after like a minute and a half.
He just keeps passing him up.
Right. But like as it goes, when he kind of wakes up and goes back into his sorrowful ramblings, the tone of it kind of changes from like I don't know what I'm gonna do to like this is all my fault. If she had never met me, she'd still be alive. And he's really just beating himself up really bad. And I think once you guys get up to him and we're Heskimo asks what is our business, he finally like rolls a little bit and like pats Sigurd on the shoulder, like, let me down.
You'll have to forgive us. Somehow this crying mess of a halfling is the most charismatic of us at the moment.
He has his moments.
I understand it's hard times here on Ilem Chuva. We've all had difficult moments. I'm not exactly the most charismatic myself.
You don't say, mate. You seem like a regular jabberjaw.
Oh, he's a real handsome gentleman, and he kind of allows himself to chuckle a little bit, and then he kind of like meets him with a more steely glare, and it's like, look, partner, just like y'all, we here because we want to take down every one of these swarm sons of bitches that we can get our hands on. You said nobody wants to swarm here. Well, we fucking want them. All right, we want them because we want them put down like the dog bugs they are. And then he's like, but in a more specific sense, we're here for the university, but also to find the reliquary. Or did we?
Well, that's all the same thing. Like, there's a
okay.
professor that wrote a paper on it that nobody paid attention to, but now that it's turning out to be like maybe a real thing, you're looking for that information. And it's also strange that the swarm is still here, because normally they come devour a planet and then move on. It's not normal for them to hang out. And then you can ask him any questions about himself or the planet or Clade Company. I mean, he's open to any discussion you might have.
Right. I mean, but Tex kind of says, in a more specific sense, look, we here because I see there's a lot of shearing folk here, and we're hoping one of them can help us out. We were sent here to find a professor of one of y'all's universities here, and also some kind of old swarm I don't know if it's a holy site or what, but it's called the Forever Reliquary? How do you say that,
You're
Vinny?
doing great, bud.
Yeah, that's
You
it,
got
mate.
it. Yeah,
Reliquary.
there's
Yep.
Reliquary.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
We are
Yeah.
all cheering for you.
Well, I can't say I've ever heard of this forever.
Yeah. Good enough, mate. Let's move
All
past
right.
it.
Yeah, but I can say that it's interesting that you bring up the university because that seems to be where most of the swarm's activity is. It's a real hotbed there, and you might go ask around. I think a few of the Sheeran here actually went to that university. I didn't, obviously. Because I live underground, right?
Such a
that's
scholarly
the
chap
reason, yep.
like yourself,
Right.
I
Well,
wouldn't
I-
have you pegged.
Well, I get it. I went to school of hard knocks myself, friend.
Well, you went to the School of Hard Rocks.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, any information if you can direct us to who might be more familiar with that, particularly some of the people that might have went to the university, we'd appreciate
Right.
it.
Yeah, I can do that, but I mean, I'm still kind of getting to know you a bit, right?
How long have you been operating?
Well, it's been about 4 months now, I think, since the attack. We're surviving. That's the start. We're pretty much everyone who's still alive on this part of the continent, I believe. We were kind of hoping we could just keep to ourselves till the swarm leave, and then we'd be able to rebuild. And as he kind of trails off, Etchiax actually picks up and says,
There's more damage than we thought at first. Rebuilding is going to be tough. Yeah, we can't even start until the swarm leaves. So for now, we're hoping to fight back enough to become a stinger in their shell and encourage them to leave sooner. Besides, we don't have any ships, so we don't have a way to get off-world.
the Belita then perks up at that last observation and shakes their head and says,
No, we're prepared to wait, so we'll wait him out.
Well, look, friends, new friends, as those adorable Skittermander would say. I got some bad news for you. From what we've been able to gather, the Swarm are looking for this reliquary and probably looking for something in this university too. So, I mean, normally when they do something like this, like they done to your planet, they move on pretty quick. And that's your reason right there why they hadn't moved on. And until they find what they're looking for, they're not going to.
all right, well, that's not great news, but it seems that you're here and you're quite capable.
We do have some potentially good news.
And what's that?
I mean, we didn't come here out of thin air. We came in on a ship. We got pretty banged up on the way in, but if we can get it sheltered
yeah.
from the rain or something, we might be able to...
Hescamu looks to a couple. He waves at the Vesk and pulls them over, and he says, "Go out to where the ship crashed. Wrap it in top so it doesn't get destroyed by the acid rain. I think we could help you repair it, but then we got a lot of problems on the surface first before we could really take care of it. But it is good news that you came on a ship. I hope it's big enough for all of us, or at least maybe you could. I see there that you, some of you have the STF colors on, and perhaps you could help us with an extraction, eh?
Yeah, we was sent on this mission by the SDF, so, if you help us find this out and lead us to this university and hopefully this reliquary.
That's it. You're doing right.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, we'd be more than willing to get who we can off planet with our ship and see if we can pull some strings with the SDF to come and get the rest of y'all out. How many of y'all are there?
I mean, it's the small handful that I described, so it's probably a total of 30 to 40 survivors. Not
Is
very
our
many.
ship big enough for that many people?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Well, at the least we could get maybe a couple people off planet and either make another run or let people know, like the SDF. Like, there's potential here. We don't have to do it in one go.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the goal, I think, would be letting the SDF know and seeing if they could lend us a few ships to get everybody off of here.
Yeah.
Or just one big ship, But yeah, so, I mean, it seems like our goals, those beyond just simple survival, are somewhat aligned. So, I mean, what, we need to shake hands on it, or what?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's no need for all that. We're at war, right? We're on the same side. There's just a bit of a problem. Your intentions are to go to the city where the university is. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, we need to get there, and we're thinking the Rickalary, and the college are probably intertwined, maybe at the same place. And we need to get there and find whatever it is the swarm's looking for before they do. Because if they're hanging out like this, which is against their nature, it must be pretty important, and we don't want them to get a hold of something that'll make them any more powerful than they already are.
All right. Well, follow me. I have some more bad news I need to show you. And he kind of gestures you to follow into like a little side chamber. And, you follow him in there, and there's like this pedestal or this table, and he, with one of his many arms, presses a few things on the control panel, and a holographic map pops up of the city. And he explains that much of the swarm contingent left in Ilimchuva is crawling all over Zesh University, which makes your proposition quite a dangerous one. Furthermore, the western side of the city has been plagued by severe instability as a result of the nearby extractor Imago's excavations. And so sinkholes have been appearing across the area, and Heskemu is fairly certain that it's only a matter of time before the entire area collapses, likely destroying any information that you might be looking for. So, to tackle both problems at once, he has a proposal, a daring plan, if you will, and he suggests that an attack on the nearby extractor Imago, drawing the swarm's attention away from the university and making the PC's mission easier. Even better, disabling or destroying the Imago would reduce the tremors and instability of the area, which would also make a strike mission into the university safer and quicker, to say nothing of limiting the ongoing destruction of one of the only cities left standing on Ilimchuva. The extractor Imagos are extremely large, however, and attacking one externally would likely have little effect. To truly take down one of these behemoths, a strike force would have to infiltrate the creature itself, using the access pathways swarm components use to get inside its body to control things and disable it from within. Eskimo builds upon the plan by proposing members of the Clade Company guard the exterior of the extractor module while you conduct the raid, ensuring that the party won't get overwhelmed when the Imago starts calling other swarm components to its defense. Eskimo rubs their secondary arms together enthusiastically as they talk, clearly excited by the opportunities that your presence and skills have provided for these freedom fighters. He says, "All right, I've laid out my plan. I ain't gonna pressure you to participate, but I do think this is the best course of action, and it does kind of take out two birds with one stone."
So let me get this straight. You want us to go inside one of these giant drill bugs and beat up on its internal organs?
That's exactly right.
Sounds fucking daft.
What a well thought out plan.
I mean, it could be fun.
Well, we all working on the fly today. Be 100% honest, I don't give a damn. If it'll do some damage to these swarm, maybe kill one of their big units, I'm all for it. I don't particularly care if I get killed along the way or not.
It would definitely mess up all their plans. That thing there is what they're using to keep this whole side of the continent fucked up. And you're going to have a real hard time getting into that university with that thing still standing there between us and the city.
Well, that information's pretty much all we got. It's our only lead against the swarm anyway. If it falls into the center of the earth, we can't really use that.
Right.
We don't have much of a choice.
I think you're starting to see the light. Listen, I know you had a bit of a hard entrance here into our little planet. I suggest that you get some rest. I assume you guys have introduced yourselves. He's going to say, Mr. Arcana, if you would like to talk with one of the Shirin priests here, they could help you with any arrangements you might have for your friend.
Yeah, I'd very much appreciate that, and I was about to ask you anyways if there's some kind of Hylaxian holy
Whiskey.
person. You're not wrong. But yeah, I do need to talk to a priest or the closest approximation you got, because I got obviously the whole thing with my friend, and I got a bone or two to pick with old Hylax myself.
Well, I'm not too much of a religious man myself, but of course we can get you set right up. Why don't you go over there and talk to Jadvata? You ask her about Zesh University as well. She might be able to give you that little bit of information you was looking for about that professor fella. In the meantime, you're welcome to stay here, get some rest, prepare yourself. You can trade with us. We don't have a lot, but we got some things, whatever you might need to get yourself ready for going inside a giant flea. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not very good with the humor. I'm trying to add some levity, but as I said, I'm not the most charismatic leader that's out there. Anyway, Jadvata, could you come here, please? And you see a kind of a scholarly young host, Sharon, approach you. She says,
Yes? How can I be of service?
Yeah, I'm Tex Arcana. This is my friends. We're with the SDF. You probably already know we crash landed on this rock. And it seems all of our goals for the time being are aligned. But we lost one of ours on the way in, and they're supposed to be bringing her body back. I was going to see what you could do about giving her some kind of service and all that.
Well, it would be difficult to parry someone down here. We could do a immolation service, if you would like. Do you know what her wishes might have been?
Yeah, not to die.
Right. Hylax tests us in many ways. I am sorry for the loss of your companion. I can do what I can do. As I said, we could cremate the remains, or we could perhaps mummify her, although that is not something that I particularly relish doing.
It's so fucked up. I don't know. I mean, she's a dragon. I'm torn on that. I reckon part of her would have respected the fiery aspect of it, but part of me wonders if you'll even be able to burn her being a dragon.
If I may,
will
Tex,
burn.
if I may, if these are our only two options, much of her was consumed by the swarm of dredgers. Mummification would be a grisly process.
Yes, that is true. In my studies, I had read about the dragonkin, and if I may suggest, I think that the cremation might be the best course of action, but it is your choice, not mine.
Yeah, we can go with cremation, man. I don't particularly care about all that as much as I just want to be able to pay my respects to my friend.
Yes, I will have her remains prepared, and you can say your goodbyes and words tomorrow evening, at which point we will cremate the remains. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, I reckon that'll do. I figure we're gonna probably have to get some rest tonight. We're pretty beat up. But I did want to ask, would it be all right? I'm new to this whole Hylax thing. But do y'all do any kind of confessionals or anything like that? I was wondering if it'd be all right if I talked with you in private sometime before.
No.
Look, man, I just lost my goddamn friend. Are you a priest or not? You gonna help me out here?
All right, mate. Just settle down, okay?
I'm not a priest. No.
What the hell are you?
A scholar. Why are you yelling?
Because I'm pissed off.
Why?
I need somebody to talk to about all this Hylax shit, and you act like you in charge of doing all funerary rites like you're a priest, and as soon as I need an emotional hand, so to speak, you don't even want to fucking talk to me.
Shut your fucking gob, okay?
Look, I don't even like you.
He slaps Tex. He slaps Tex right in the face.
Here we go, PvP. It's not a section of hideous tomfoolery until Tex gets in a fight with somebody.
Billy Gibbons probably pops out of the coat and hisses at him, you know.
And Vin grabs him and looks him right in his eyes and says, "Mate, I understand you're going through some shit right now, but we've all lost people that we care about. We're in the middle of a fucking genocidal war with the swarm, all right? We gotta focus." And he gives him the tactical eyes, like, "Bruv, we ain't got the fucking time, okay? Calm your tits."
Would you like a hug? I've got 4 arms. They say that I've give good hugs if a bit cold.
I mean, yeah, but let me say what I want to say first, and that's it.
Come here, Tex. Come here. That's right.
Takes the hug.
This big Bolita just wraps all 4 arms around you and just pats you on the back.
That's right. We're just a regular bunch of charismatic people, aren't we?
And he starts laughing and crying at the same time.
There you go. And the rest of you see him kind of shuffle off the Sheeran. Go ahead and leave while I got him distracted and go take care of business. She scurries out very quickly,
I guess, yes.
and leaves.
Sig follows her.
Okay.
Hey, hold up a minute.
Are you going to yell
No,
at me?
no. I'm upset too. She was my friend too, but I understand you're not a priest. It's a weird position that Eskimo kind of puts you in there.
Yes, he does that sometimes. He means well.
And so I'm wondering if what else he said about you is more true. Did you happen to attend Zesh University?
Yes, I did.
Is there any information you could give us about that place? We're specifically looking for information on the Forever Reliquary. There's a professor at your university that wrote a paper on it.
Oh, yes. Professor Galchek. Yes, he did, right. He was a great professor, but I did not particularly enjoy his anthropology classes. He wrote about the Forever Reliquary and seemed to believe in what we all just know to be a mythological place, symbol of perfected peace and friendship. But he seemed to believe that it was real.
If something like that were real, it would be real important to have information on it. If the swarm is able to completely destroy Zesh University, I assume that is destroyed with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, that's as far as I am aware, there is no such artifact named the Forever Reliquary there.
Well,
however,
right, but we'd never find it if...
Yes, you need to know where his office was. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
I will say that while I wasn't particularly fond of the class, it was always nice to look at the collection of artifacts that Professor Galchek did have. Among them, one particularly impressive weapon that seemed like it may have even been blessed by Hylax herself, but that is all superstition and mythology. I have a hard time believing that Hylax exists when I look around the planet that we are on now.
I can understand why you might feel that way. Did you know him at all on a personal level? If we get into his office, he might have data pads, he might have other stuff, and my buddy Vin, he's real good with computers and stuff. I'm basically illiterate at the whole thing. But if we had the more information we have about him, the better chance we have to extract the information that he had in his office. You know, if he had a wife, if you knew his wife's name, like that kind of stuff is easy password stuff that people put on their data pads.
Yes, I apologize, but I only knew him as a student. I do not think that he was married, as he was quite dedicated to his research and his studies. He was passionate about what he did, and I had a lot of respect for him. But no, we never fraternize in a evolved friendship way.
I figured as much, but I also figured it'd be worth asking you. And I appreciate you pointing me in the direction of his office. That's going to be real useful. I don't think we're going to have a ton of time if we do end up at Zesh.
It does not seem that there is a lot of time for Zesh or any of us, to be fair. But perhaps you can change that.
Well, they don't call us a midnight squad for nothing. We come in at the final hour and we turn it around.
That sounds pretty dope. Taking inspiration. I liked that.
All right.
That was pretty good, yeah.
That was good. Yeah, all right. So that's pretty much all the information she has for you. And do you have any further questions for Heskamu or?
I do. Heskamu, what's your favorite color, mate?
Oh, well, you know.
Mine's blue.
Why? Why
Because
you
I thought
like
you
blue?
wanted to get to know us better and whatnot.
No. I do. That's what I'm saying. Why is your favourite colour blue?
Because
What
it's
do you
like me
ab-
skin, mate, you see? And he's like pointing to his like half dark elven skin.
I would say that my favourite colour is probably chartreuse.
Chartreuse. You know what, mate? Respectable. It's respectable. I respect it.
Thanks for asking. Nobody's ever asked me about my favourite
Yeah,
colour.
you know, I figure we're mates now and whatnot.
Do you want to read my poetry?
Secrets.
Some other time, maybe. Some other time, yeah.
Every
yeah.
side character in this AP, an amateur poet.
That's where he stores all his charisma.
What's your
Between the
favourite?
lines.
What's your favourite drink? You look like a drinking man. You want to have a drink with me? We'll exchange favourite drinks. We do have a bit of spirits down here. Would you like to drink?
I'm more of a rum
me.
man myself, but I'll drink whatever you got.
Right. Well, I'll drink rum with you if you'll drink Belita Blast with me.
I'll drink
All
whatever
right.
the hell you got.
You might want to stick to the rum, mate.
You might not want to tell me what to do now.
Tex,
All right,
mate.
all right.
I'm
Bro,
sorry.
you're like,
I'm sorry.
You're like
I'm
3
riled
feet
up.
tall, mate.
I might be 3 foot tall and drink both y'all on the table.
Sure you can. Nobody doubts that, mate. But
and-
you're just
and-
talking real loud and making all these threats and whatnot to this big giant bug man, you see.
I didn't threaten nobody.
I'm close to,
I mean, you
close to
kind of
sticking
did,
a
but I
sedative in you.
understand. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, let's all go drinking. If you want, or whatever. You know me. I don't want to pressure you into anything, but, you know, our mission's going to be a bit nasty. And so I like to get my belly nice and warm before I go on nasty missions.
And
Yep.
get inside of a giant bug's belly, you mean?
Right. You
Yeah,
get it.
that makes sense.
Right. All right. Well,
We're fucked, mate.
yeah.
Just
but
so
it's gonna
you
be
know.
fun. But it's going to be fun.
Y'all
I
drink
mean,
out of.
I've always wanted to see one of those things, crumble from the inside out. Fucking hate those fleas. They destroyed our planet. You know that, right?
Yeah,
I fucking hate 'em.
Yeah, I noticed on the way in.
Yeah, it's bad.
Were the acid pits always there? Or?
No.
Really
weren't.
ties the surface together, you know?
It really gives it some character. Right.
Sure.
All right. So yeah, y'all go off and kind of finish your night drinking or whatever. Let's just for funsies. Anybody that's gonna drink, roll me a good old fashioned fortitude check.
Oh, there's no way Natasi's drinking with the crew. I mean, maybe she's just like hanging out with them, staring at a wall or something, but no drinking.
Siggy boy's
17.
got a 25.
17 on a fortitude.
All right, 25. I mean, yeah, you guys hang. What about you? Tex?
Dirty 20.
Yeah, y'all hang. You know, you can definitely catch a buzz and have a good time, but nobody gets pass out drunk, blackout drunk, and you guys wake up the next day not really hungover and hopefully feeling a little better. I don't know. As far as what you can do with the next day until the funeral, as much as that will be, you can do some trading. We can handle that off air. But they have, as far as what they have stockpiles of standard and high capacity batteries, regular ammunition, basic med kits, med patches, and about 10 Mark I serums of healing available for trade. And that they do have some frag grenades as well. They have recently found a cache of supplies from the local military base, so they were able to get some frag grenades, 5 auto-target rifles, 2 suits of officer ceremonial plate, and 3 suits of business station wear. So that's what's available on the weapon front. And then they do have people that are capable of crafting at level 5 or lower. But we're not talking, it's going to be pretty basic gear.
Yeah, I don't got anything close to money to buy anything. So
I'm wearing officer ceremonial plate, so.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you should have enough UPBs to trade. I think it's because I don't know who's keeping up with your money, and as I said, we'll handle that off air and figure it out. But I think that you can grab, a couple clips, some serums, maybe a couple of them frag grenades if you want them. There's nothing like really awesome here. These are scavenged goods, but that is there available for you. You get a full night's rest. Do some trading, maybe, perhaps. In any case, we get down to the evening where the four of you are standing in front of Yavari's body, who's wrapped in like cloth, what's left of it anyway, and they've taken you to this site that like banks a little bit of a lava stream that runs under, so they're basically going to just push your body into the lava whenever the time comes. But the Sharon that set it up says, yes, okay, and this is ready to go, and then she looks at you, Sigurd, and she motions to a little lever that she's like, when you are ready, you can pull this lever and the body will be deposited back into the womb of this planet. I am going to leave to give you the proper grieving space,
And that little halfling kind of creeps me out.
Understood. Yeah, you better head out fast.
And what was her name? That's not Heskemu. Or what? Well, not a her, it's a host. But what was the name of the host, Sheeran? Shedvata?
Jadvata.
Jadvata. Okay.
Jadvata.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, is it just us, or do?
Yeah, it's just y'all.
As we all gather around the body of Yavari Star Killer, and just Jadvata begins to walk away. Tex probably passes Jadvata and does say, "Hey, look, thanks for everything you've done here. I'm sorry, I lost my cool."
Yes, you've had a trying days.
I know, and so have you guys, and it's not fair of me to, take it out on y'all like that.
Yes, and all is forgiven. And she leaves.
Thank you. So, Tex kind of approaches the spot, I guess, near the head of the, if there's a head left, I hate to say, of the wrapped up Yavari. And he takes off his hat and starts to kind of wring it in his hands, and you can hear a little bit of chittering from Billy Gibbons inside his coat. And he says, I know we've been on a strange little journey here, and because of the dire nature of that journey, we really hadn't got the chance to get to know each other that much. And I one of my greatest regrets is that y'all won't be able to get to know Yavari the way that I did. Ours was a special bond. It was a unique bond. And another part of that regret that I have is that we only had a limited amount of time together. I guess by Hylax's will, we was thrust into this journey together, and I don't know what the plan is coming from old Hylax, but it seems like it's awful important. And I hate that. To be honest, I was real enthusiastic about, being a hero, being on a hero's journey kind of thing, and having Yavari join me on that journey. Excuse me. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to carry on without her. And looking down the barrel of what we're looking through, maybe maybe that's for the best. I know that I'm gonna miss her for the rest of my life, which feels weird to say because y'all don't really know, but we really didn't know each other that long. Before we met you guys, before we took on this gig with the SDF, look, man, I'm a criminal. I've been a criminal for a long time. And it's my ways of crime that got Yvari into this mess. If it wasn't for me, she never would have been here. She never would have needed to be here. The only reason we joined up with the SDF is because we had heard that you could get yourself a pardon or two. And though that turned out to be true, I don't know that it's worth the cost. And I sincerely regret ever getting her mixed up in this mess. I know it's tough fighting the swarm. I understand that. You're gonna have casualties, as we've seen. We've been on 2 damn near destroyed planets now. Everybody that gets near the swarm loses somebody, loses lots of somebodies. And it don't make me special that I lost somebody. But god damn it, Yvari was special to me. And I just hope, whatever Hylax's will is, that if I go down fighting these swarm sons of bitches, which I intend to do with every waking breath that I have left in me, that if they take me down like they took her down, then maybe there's some kind of afterlife where we'll get to hang out and just be together and be friends and really get to know each other like we didn't get to, because a big part of this history I have of being a criminal, it means that the whole time we was friends, we was on the run. And I think that took a toll on her. So I'm at least glad she don't have that weighing down on her no more. I've always had the gift of gab, but I don't know there's much more eloquent that I can say, but to be honest, I mean, I don't know y'all that well, and y'all don't take this personal, but she was the best of us. And he just bows his head, starts to cry a little bit, feeds some seeds to Billy Gibbons. He says, alright, if anybody else got something to say, y'all do it now before we don't get the chance.
Then whispers to Natasi, I ain't got nothing to say. She was trying to kill me like the whole time.
Natasi awkwardly looks at Vin and tries to not catch anybody else's attention. She doesn't really have much to say. Yeah, I can't top that.
Sig has the lever, and he kind of turns to the rest of the group, seeing that Tex has said his piece. Natasi and Vin are quiet, whispering to each
Just
other.
Like looking awkward.
It's gonna be lonely at the front by myself. I promise I'm gonna do a better job trying to protect the 3 of you than I did for her. I thought she could handle it. She was strong. And just like one little tear comes down his face, he pulls out a cigarette, lights it. It's time to say goodbye. And he pulls the lever.
Tex turns around and walks away.
As you pull the lever, you see a mechanism kind of raise the platform that she's on. Just go, and she just rolls into the lava, kind of sinks into it slowly. Her wrappings catch on fire immediately. And as she descends, I think probably Tex, you can see for just a moment, like the shape of her fully extended, her wings fully extended, an axe in her hand, her teeth bared, just like looking up towards the sky, and you kind of shake your head, close your eyes, open them again, and it's just smoke as the last of Yavari sinks into the lava. I need y'all to finish your drinks, because we'll see ya. To Yavari.
We'll see you, my sweet girl.
Woo! We'll see ya.
Yep.